Hey guys, what's up? I know last week you guys seen me post something about I'm going to be going live next weekend to discuss nutrition. Hopefully, try to educate you guys and being able to eat on your own the way you're supposed to. I decided not to go live just for myself, so that way I wasn't restricted to a certain time frame. But I'm still making videos, guys. This is going to be the first one, probably in a series of 3, just depending on how much I feel like I want to talk about. I'm not going to get real into depth about it. I want to keep it pretty plain and simple, and I'm breaking it down into multiple videos, so I'm not throwing a bunch of it out there to you guys. That can get confusing a little bit. So the first video today, I'm not going to discuss actually how to determine how much food you need to eat personally, but today we're just going to discuss some of the nutrition myths and kind of make sure we understand how the body uses the different macronutrients we have. First off, I want to go off by discussing a few nutrition myths. These are the ones that are most popular that I come across when I talk to people about training and what they're currently doing. One of the first things I always do is ask, what is your current eating habits? And a lot of times I get, this is probably the most popular one, is they've started eating less so that way they could lose weight. Now that's not always the case, guys. Of course, you got to be in a deficit and eat, a calorie deficit to lose weight. But a lot of times people eat too less. They don't eat enough. So eating less is not always the right thing. Usually when I'm putting together a nutrition plan, I'm actually adding food to their current eating habits, and that confuses a lot of people. But without going into a bunch of detail on why that happens, when you eat, restrict your calories a lot, it starts messing up your metabolism, and then it can make it even more difficult to lose weight that way. Another one, carbs are bad for you. Carbs are not bad for you guys. If you talk to anybody that actually knows what they're talking about when it comes to nutrition, they're going to tell you carbs are very essential. Most people who actually know what they're doing, eat a lot more carbs than what other people think they do. Carbs are very essential to losing weight, gaining muscle, energy, tons of stuff carbs are good for. So carbs are not bad for you guys. Another one I come across is you should stop eating at night at a certain time frame, like maybe say 5 o'clock or something. This is not the case. If you're eating good food, it doesn't matter what time of night you're eating. Now, if you're trying to do some type of fast, then okay, I get it. But if you're not doing some type of fast, then you don't got to eat or stop eating at a certain time frame. There's times when I get up in the middle of the night and eat, and you can still lose weight that way. You need to do a lot of cardio to lose weight. That's the big one too. That is not the case, guys. Of course, how much cardio you do is going to depend. It's going to be a big variable depending on who you are, your genetics and stuff like that already. But you do not have to do a lot of cardio to lose weight, guys. Now, all these crazy diets out there. What I say crazy is there's just a ton of them out there, guys. And what they do a lot of times too is they just change the freaking name of them. And I hear a name and I'm like, it's not new. That's old. You're just calling it something else. And you're making people think it's the newest fad diet. So you're going to charge people all these crazy prices for it when in reality it's nothing new. I see a new one going around now that's nothing but a carb cycle. They've switched the name and changed it to something else, and they're making it out like it's the newest fad diet out, and it's new research. It's a carb cycle. It's all it is. But anyway, these diets actually do work, guys. But for the reason why they work is they usually put more structure into your eating. So that's definitely helping in that direction right there. And they also usually eliminate one of the 3 major macronutrients. And by doing that reduces the calories that you're eating. So, and they also usually eliminate processed foods too. So we're using a key word though, eliminate. And that's where it's bad. That's where you're not going to stick to a diet. Anything that tells you, okay, you got to eliminate this, period, rest of your life, you're not going to eat it, that's probably not going to be able to be done in a long period of time. So it's not probably going to be realistic. But they do work, but for a short period of time, and they're usually not the best way to lose weight either, because usually they're a quick fix, so you'll lose weight real fast, and then all of a sudden you'll come to a stopping point, people get discouraged, you come off of it, and whatever you did eliminate, now you're eating again, so you just gain the weight right back. And that's where it turns into the yo-yo effect. You know, you're on this diet, you come off of it, you go into another diet, you come off of it, and you're just, you know, a yo-yo effect. These diets also create a fail, no fail type of atmosphere, or whatever you want to call it, for the diet. And really, so what happens is, let's say they eliminate carbs out of this. So if you're craving carbs, and all of a sudden you go eat carbs, and then you just thought you just think you failed. You know, that puts in your mindset, I just failed this diet. So what am I going to do? I'm probably going to quit. I'm going to get discouraged. I'm going to quit, or I'm going to gorge myself on carbs because I think I just failed anyway. So blah, 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 blah. And that's where the yo-yo effect comes into play again. So although they do work, they're quick fixes, and they're not the best way to lose weight, guys. Usually when you're on these diets, you know, you always hear people say, well, I did lose this much. Well, yeah, you did lose it. Where are you at now? You know, you usually gain it back after you're off the diets. Also, I want to discuss losing weight. People hear it all the time. I lost this much weight. I lost this much weight on this diet. Okay, well, what part of that weight is body fat? What part of that weight is muscle? And what part of that weight is water? Because ultimately your goal is to lose body fat, correct? Not to lose muscle. So people are like, oh, I lost, 7 pounds off the Atkins diet or whatever diet it is. Well, how much of that was muscle? The goal should be to maintain, is not gain a little bit of muscle when you're on a restrictive diet, and lose body fat and possibly some water too. So think about that too, guys, when you're doing it. You don't want to focus just on your actual weight. We want to focus on actual pounds of body fat. If you don't have an InBody to look at that, then find someone that knows how to do body fat percentages. That's going to be your next best option, is to look at body fat percentages instead of just your weight. Okay, now here's a couple tips that we're going to look at when it's time to go shopping. I just want to get all this out there to you guys before we actually start talking about, how much you should eat yourself, so that way you're a little bit prepared for what's going to happen. Of course, you're going to want your fruits and your vegetables. And a lot of people watching this is going to say, you don't like vegetables, you don't eat vegetables. I don't eat vegetables, guys. So it is possible to do whatever you need to do and still get all your micronutrients, not macro, but your micronutrients, without eating vegetables. It is harder. What I've started doing, and it's making it much easier, is I've been drinking these smoothies that are made of vegetables, and I have a couple fruits in them. So they actually taste pretty good. They taste like kiwi. So that's what I've been doing personally to get those in there. Because really, when you're looking at your fruits and vegetables, you're looking at fiber, and you're looking at getting your micronutrients in there. Your high fiber foods. Fiber, one of the best reasons. Fiber is good for a lot of reasons. When it comes to losing weight, one of the major things it's good for is slowing down the absorption of sugar in your bloodstream, which means you have a much longer time to burn off those extra carbs that you're eating before they're turned and stored into fat. So you want to find healthy fats too, guys. Your nuts, your avocados, your salmon, things like that. Your healthy fats are what's going to be good for you. Your meats. You can really eat any kind of meat, guys. I can't think of one that you should probably stay away from. But as long as you're eating at the right portions, you can have you some meat. And you want a big variety of everything. So, when I talked about eliminating something earlier, you don't want to eliminate just something. You might want to restrict, not eliminate, but reduce something. But we don't want to eliminate just one thing. So trying to get a big variety in is going to be your best way to do it. It's going to make the plan, the nutrition plan, less boring, and you're more likely to stick to it. So a couple things we definitely want to limit, and you don't have to eliminate these, but if you can, it'd be a plus. But very few people are going to probably eliminate these altogether, unless you're going into this hardcore and you're trying to do a competition or something. Of course, your processed foods, and then also your sugars. Those are going to be the two that I would say, if it's possible to eliminate, go ahead, but you don't have to. But we want to limit them out you're taking in. Also with this, a minute ago I mentioned micronutrients. We're not really going to discuss micronutrients that much. We're going to focus on macronutrients. That's going to be the portion that's going to be the biggest factor in weight loss. And in my opinion, if everything's on point when you're looking at your macros and you're hitting you're hitting your carbs and you're hitting your protein and all that stuff, then your micronutrients are probably going to fall into place and be right where they need to be. Okay, what contains calories, guys? We got 3 primary macronutrients, and we got 1 macronutrient that a lot of people that obviously know about, but they might not realize it's a macronutrient. And I know for a fact, just from speaking with a lot of people, that don't realize it actually has calories. And that is, your 3 primary, of course, are going to be your fat, your carbs, and your protein. And the other the macronutrient is going to be alcohol. So a macronutrient is basically anything that's going to give, or is it not anything, but a substance that's going to give your body energy, and you're going to need large amounts of it. That's why it's looking at the macros. Of course, protein, it's going to help. Once again, all of these can give you an energy source, but your protein, the main focus on protein is going to be building and repairing your muscle tissue. You know, you work out, you tear your tissue up, you damage it, and then you repair it, and that promotes growth. Carbs are your body's primary source and your most preferred source of energy. So if your body's preferred source of energy is carbs, and you got somebody that's totally restricting your carbs for a long period of time, that should right there tell you something ain't right there. Something's going to be wrong with your body. Fat, it can also be a source of energy too. But one of the main functions of your good fats is to transport oxygen to your cells in your body. So there's a good reason for your fats. And also want to mention too that a lot of people think fat makes you fat. Fat technically does not make you fat. Your unused carbs and everything like that are going to make you fat when your body starts converting them. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, your body's primary source of energy is carbs. So I want to discuss what happens once you are out of carbs and your body still needs energy. So you're on a restrictive diet that has restrictive carbs or whatever it is. One of the most popular ones right now is the keto diet. So what happens is your body will actually start using protein, muscle tissue, and fat as the body's energy source. So when your body starts to do this, it's actually it goes into a ketosis state, and that's where they get the name keto diet. It takes usually about 3 to 4 days of very low carbs for your body to go into ketosis state, where it's actually using that. And that can be good if you're using the fat for a short period of time. But what we don't want to do is do it for a long period of time, because now you're going to start damaging your body. Your body's going to think it's starving, so it's going to start preserving the fat. It's going to start eating your muscle, and that's just the step backward from what we're trying to do. So that's just kind of gives you a little breakdown, guys, of how your body uses your macronutrients. To me, I like to not only learn why or how something happens, but why something's happening. So if you got a pretty good understanding of how the body's working with the food you're eating, then it might make you understand a little bit better once we go a little bit further into it. For some of y'all, that might have been basic knowledge that you already know, but there's probably a lot of people out there that don't realize some of that. So I wanted to discuss that before we get going. So this is the first video, guys. I'm going to stop it at here. We're a little over 15 minutes. That's plenty long enough. And I'll be releasing the next video next Saturday. If you got any comments at all, drop them in the comments, and I'll probably answer those questions first when we get started on the next video for next week. All right, guys.